Assalamu alaikum. Raheem here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Brothers and sisters, I think any reasonable person will tell you that this nation, America, is in severe trouble, under severe stress. Severe stress. All its institutions are being stress tested. As I said during the election, I said anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And we see that in Technicolor, HD. This was the craziest election I've seen in my lifetime. And you could see all the things that's where it's leading to. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. A few things we're going to talk about, side things, but we're primarily going to focus on that, what it means. What does it mean? Because no one's talking about it. Or they're talking about inside issues, but what does it mean? What does 2020 forecast? They can tell you about what happened yesterday, what may perhaps what's happening now. Where's Farrakhan? Where's Silas? Where's the seventh angel? Where's all these clowns? They're nowhere to be found because they have no idea what this all means. So we're going to explain it. It's like we explained last year, we're going to explain this year. Last year was the year of the plague. This is the year of the resurrection. So we're going to talk about that. So first we're going to talk about a few things, and then we'll get into the main topic. I thought these things might be interesting to you. It kind of like leads into the main topic. So let's proceed. (2021), the Son of Man. Why? Why Son of Man? Suleiman. Well, 2021 is the year that he'll be made known to the world. We're going to talk about that also.
Because it was the irrevocable will of God. Thank for God for the life that He gave to you, gave to me, gave to us. Get out of that corner, get out from that place and that space. We still have a race to run. The minister said, no person or people become great having an easy time. Most of you think that if Allah God loves you, you're supposed to have life on a silver platter. Most of us think to be a believer in God, we're not supposed to suffer. We're not supposed to be afflicted. We're not supposed to get sick. We're not supposed to suffer the loss of life. Believing is so that when these misfortunes come into our lives, we can give all the honor, all the praise, all the glory to a wonderful God who permitted us to take possession
Listen.
of a life that we are not the rightful owners of. Gives us the privilege to produce a child.
Okay, what God is that? See, listen to these clowns. Get this, let me clear this up here. Clear this up. There you go. Oops, not quite. Well, that's good enough for now. So what God is that, Farrakhan? See, the God that makes us in the wombs, not our life, some life that God gave us. Let's just listen to that one more time because I don't think it started from the beginning.
Your tears because it was the irrevocable will of God. Thank for God for the life that He gave to you, gave to me, gave to us. Get out of that corner, get out from that place and that space. We still have a race to run. The minister said, no person or people become great having an easy time. Most of you think that if Allah God loves you, you're supposed to have life on a silver platter.
He seems to have it.
To be a believer in God, we're not supposed to suffer. We're not supposed to be afflicted. We're not supposed to get sick. We're not supposed to suffer the loss of life. Believing is so that when these misfortunes come into our life, we can give all the honor, all the praise, all the glory to a wonderful God who permitted us to take possession of a life that we are not the rightful owners of. He gives us the privilege to produce a child. But the child is not from the mother or the father. The child is from God. So belief and faith prepare us to accept from life the
If you believe he's talking about Master Farad Muhammad, you are a damn fool. He's not talking about Master Farad Muhammad here. He's talking about this mystery God, this Sunni God. It's so obvious. So the people that's with him, they with him because they're idiots, fools, or demons. There's no way in no hell he's talking about Master Farad Muhammad. How is that possible? We don't make the children. He does. He's in the womb. I mean, he goes further than that. God's in the womb making the babies. So you're saying Farad is sleeping with all these women? What about animals? He's not talking about Master Farad Muhammad. He's talking about Sunniism. And as Muhammad never taught any such thing. Never heard anything like that come out of his mouth, ever. See? So he can talk all that BS he wants to. So we know that anyone with him, either idiots, plain stupid, demons, what else? Or just plain fools. It's the case against Farrakhan is clear. Scriptures make it clear. So you will not err. Son of addition. Kissing devils. See? He wants to bring him into the NOI. His father is a devil. He can try to clean up all he wants to. In his interview, he said, listen to this now. Go out there and Google. Farrakhan says his father, right? His father may be a Jew. Google it, and you come to the whole interview. And first he says his father's mother and father was Portuguese Caucasians and possibly Jewish. Then later on in the same interview, he says, well, his father was light-skinned Jamaican. Now his father's parents was both parents Caucasian Portuguese. How in the hell is father's some kind of light-skinned Jamaican? He's Caucasian too. And that makes him a demon because your father's Caucasian and you anything other than your mother, anything other than Caucasian, you're a demon, period. So I just thought, I keep pointing these things out. His time is over. He only had 42 years. His time is over. I don't know what they're doing over there, but I know they're having a lot of trouble over there. See? They have a lot of trouble over there. See? His time is over. His time is over. He will come to a disgraceful end very soon. I mean, listen to this. Ask him to prove it. Say, prove it, Farrakhan. Prove that the mother and father has nothing to do with the baby, that's a gift from God. Tell him to prove it. See, it's two words easy to shatter, right? Every religion on this planet. Two words, prove it. Because only true religion is Islam, mathematics. Prior to 50,000 years ago, there was no religion on this planet. There was only mathematics. That's the perfect and true religion. The first religion was Buddhism. The lessons tell you that 35,000 years ago. They came with a new reality, not based on mathematics, based on philosophy. Every religion out there is based on some philosophy that cannot be proven. That's why they demand that you have faith. Well, if that's the case, then you might as well believe in any religion because you don't know if it's true, so you just believe in it. Anyway, let's move on, brothers and sisters. This is a nice little point here. See, Exodus. Now they're trying to tell you, Farrakhan, that the Exodus story happened 4,000 years ago. See, hold on here, let me do this. And the Exodus story happened 4,000 years ago. It's not happening now. Look at this map here. Now, according to Exodus story, right, when the children of Israel left Egypt, they had to cross the Red Sea to get into the Promised Land, which is supposed to be Israel. That's what they're saying, right? Look at this map. Where's the Red Sea? Red Sea is not between Egypt and Israel. It's the Gulf. It's what's that Gulf there? Gulf of Suez. Is that it? Let me just make this bigger so I can see it clearly. Yeah, the Gulf of Suez. So if they was crossing the Red Sea, which is long, see, they had a long walk, right? They'd be crossing into Saudi Arabia. See, you just look at a map. All you got to look at a map and see that's a lie they're telling, because there's no archaeological evidence anyway that Exodus ever occurred in the past. None whatsoever. They can't prove it. No evidence, no historical evidence, anything. No Egyptian records, anything. They didn't build the pyramids, any of that crap. But look, the Gulf of Suez. So, in addition to that, that's only if they cross right there. If you go up a little further north, they don't have to cross any water at all. Just walk across the land. So, if you was leaving Egypt, and you didn't have any boats or anything, why would you go towards the river? Why would you go across the land? All you got to do is a little further north. Look there, you go right across the land. It makes no sense because it never happened in the past. We're going we're gonna have to cross a river, not us, but the Nation of Islam, NOI, those ones that was the Levites that was deceived by Farrakhan. They're gonna have to go to tribulation, and they will have to cross, according to the angel, they're gonna have to go across the water. I mean, the angel tells you they're crossing the sea, if you understand the angel key, but also in practical terms, right? They will leave when so-called Red China, referred to as a seeing angel, is invading on the west coast. Read Daniel. That's the goat that's going to invade from the west coast. It says it's traveling um, across. His feet doesn't touch the land. It means it's traveling across the ocean, and it tells you what direction. So it's traveling in the easterly direction. So it's coming from the west, and his feet does not touch the land. It's coming across the ocean, and it's coming against the ram. That's America, and it crushes it. That's about that. You will see that happen. You're going to see a lot of things happen next 12 months. So just look at the map. See? Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're going to do a little talk here, then we're going to get into the actual couple of things I want to talk about, but we're going it's a little preliminary here. Let's get this straight here. Crisis. 2020 plague, 2021, that should be 2021. Let me correct that. Let me just correct that, brothers and sisters. I can't do this like that. I don't know how I got backwards. I don't know how I got backwards. Okay, there you go. Now, sisters and brothers, when we read Exodus, it says, the Lord, Farad, I will bring one more plague on Egypt. Talking about America primarily, but some of the European countries in general. And it said the purpose of that plague, the purpose is for them to drive you out completely. Drive us out of here. We don't go into the math of that, right? We don't go into that in a little detail. So it'll be the plague, and the purpose is to drive us out. Now, America's under intense pressure. It's an intense crisis. All its institutions are under extreme stress. And I'm going to go into a little more detail. I did in previous, but I think it's valuable to just keep repeating it, so no one can say they weren't told. I tell you what's going to happen before it happens. So we went through a year of the plague. And they say this is the worst year they've ever seen. And how did this year come in? The year came in with a plague. 2020 busted in with a plague. How is this year busting in? Insurrection. They think it's over. It's just beginning. We're told that at some point there's going to be the second demon plague, which is going to be a second locust plague. Which are the demons? The demons are the locusts. And it'll be whole lot worse than the 5 months that we just experienced last year. So we're going to get into that. But we need to set the stage here to understand the situation. You have America. It's under extreme pressure outside from the nations pressing on it. You just heard recently that they're saying they may have to go to war with China and Russia because they took and hacked into all their services and everything, all their institutions and carrying on, all their departments, the military departments, whatever, all their facilities. They're saying a war with China may be imminent. China's being aggressive. They're pushing. Russia also. Then there's a question of Iran. Iran has said that it's going to start enriching at 20%, probably a lot more than that. I mean, I'm not going to go into that in any more detail, but the thing is that they have all these situations. And one situation, like if they was talking today, this guy, Lindsey Graham, right? He says the worst thing he's concerned about is the next 14 days until Trump is gone. Now, we know we have a situation in the Middle East. They've been beefing it up. You know how they take this, I set the stage, they start saying things and putting leaks out there and carrying on about how Iran's doing this, Iran's doing that, whatever. They did about, Iraq, grenade. Every time they invade someone, this preliminary, they lay the groundwork. See, the propaganda. So we know they're going to war with Iran. And they will definitely go on with the war with Iran this year. They came close last year. But they know that the situation you have right now, look at the situation. Now, Biden has claimed that he's going to go back to the agreement. Israelis don't want that. False Israel don't want that. They want to go to war with Iran, but they want America to do it. And they know the closest they ever came was with Trump. All the other presidents for Trump, no. But Trump was the most willing pro-false Israel president ever. And they know if he doesn't do it, Biden may make peace with them, and they're afraid, they say claim they are, about Iran will secretly build their nuclear weapon. These are happened in Korea. They fooled Clinton. They say no, they was testing a nuclear bomb. And they're saying, well, that's what they're afraid about in Iran. Well, it's more than that, really. It's a whole lot more than that. But that's the logic they're putting out there. See? Because their ambition, false Israel ambitions, take over the whole Middle East. And the only thing stopping them is Iran. Because if they can knock out Iran, they would roll up Saudi Arabia, roll up Egypt, they roll up all those. Because they're in a piece of cake. But they can't do it as long as Iran. They don't want to tell you that. Their ambitions take over the whole Middle East. See, they try to make Kuwait and Dubai and all these places, they're making friends with Israel. False Israel. Israel doesn't care about them. They want their land. And they'll say, yeah, we're with you. Once we got Iran, next thing you know, they'll be taking them out. And there's nothing to stop them. Iran is the only thing stopping them from taking over the Middle East. That's the only thing stopping them. And so now, they're about to lose the only person that was on their side that would back them up in their aims to take out Iran. That's what they're really worried about. Because false Israel knows that what they need to do, if they're going to attack, they need to attack now, before he's out of office. That way, they will have, while he still has power over the military. That's what they're worried about. And that's reasonable. It's highly probable. I've been watching it. I know a war is going to break out soon. But when you look at the whole situation clearly, right? Biden could possibly go to war. Well, if Trump doesn't do it, Biden will do it. See, so we're going to talk about how it's possible. But Biden's also a compromiser, and a lot of people understand this. But after so-called Civil War, they had the Reconstruction, and they had a presidential crisis at that time. And actually, the Republican had won, but they ended up giving it to the Democrat because he promised that he would end Reconstruction in the South because they had troops in the South, right, protecting the blacks, and they was rising, they was taking political, getting political power, you know, becoming senators, representatives, and so forth, under protection of the Northern military, and they couldn't establish Jim Crow. And so they made a deal with him, even though the Republican had won, right? That they would give this Democrat, Congress did that. They made a deal, give this Democrat if he would agree to end Reconstruction. He did, he became president. Biden he's known to make those type of deals. See, Biden is more of a racist than Trump ever was. Just read his history, things he's said, things he said about blacks. Look, forget about what he says, think what he's done. He backed this prison bill, right? Sending your black jobs overseas. See? Three strikes law, building private prisons all over the place, abortion, all of these. If they was being done to the Jews, there would be, oh man, there'd be outcry like you wouldn't imagine. See? But these blacks go along with it because you got the demons telling, oh man, it's a demon. The problem we have is demons. And Farrakhan is the worst demon of all of them. He's the master demon. Because they're leading people to this garbage. Anybody with a clear mind could see that the Democratic Party means no blacks, no good. They've killed over 22 million blacks, right? In the last 50 years with abortion and Singer's Margaret Singer's Planned Parenthood slaughterhouses. Not to mention all the blacks they killed back during so-called slavery, millions, bring them over here. That was Democratic Party. They was the rebels. They was the Confederates. They just got smart. See? When I say lost the war, I say come at you a different way. See? So anyway, and then Kamala Harris, that one, ooh. Then she keeps saying she's black. That shows she's a big liar. That woman is not black. She's Indian. Her mother and father are Indians. Just Google it. She's not black. She may have a black complexion, but she's not black. And worst of all, she's a Brahmin, right? Which means she hates dark people. The Brahmins in India are the most racist people on the planet towards the darker Indians. They kill with impunity. No one will say a damn thing. The Brahmins, they hate the darker ones. And they come over here. They don't associate with black people. She puts them in prison. She didn't marry a black one. They don't associate with black people. They don't invite them to their homes that's made very powerful or something. They're trying to get some advantage. Same as the Sunnis. Sunnis come over here. They don't invite blacks to their home. They don't invite them into their home. They don't spend time with them. How many Sunnis you see hang out from Arabs, hang out with black people? You don't see it. But they invite white Christians at home. I know I see them all the time. I know them. I see them. I've been neighbors with them. And they invite white Christians at home, and they know you're Muslim. They won't invite you into their home. They invite them over for dinner and everything else. Hang out with them. When you go to the gym, hang out with them in the gym. They won't hang out with you. See? So anyway, we're going to talk about Farrakhan, this crap. Anyway, so this is what's going on here. So the thing is America under all this crisis? So what happens? America crisis in both inner, inwardly and outwardly. Because you got Russia, I said Russia and China, and they ran all these different problems. And like I said, Trump may kick off the Iran thing before he gets out in the next 14 days. But they still have those problems. And whoever president will have to deal with those problems. And America's under financial stress, under stress from there's not one area, and you've never seen anything like this before. There's not one area that America is not under extreme stress, under extreme pressure. Not one area. See? And they're also under extreme stress from within. From outwardly and inwardly. So, like I said, there's no area within internally that America's out under extreme stress, and also externally. They already made it clear they know they're going to war with China soon. They said, no, it's going to happen. They've been paying for it for years. That's just one of them. Russia, Middle East. But internally, America is unique because they have a nation within a nation. Elijah Muhammad talked about that, have a nation within a nation. And look at what's going on right now. See, the angel is coming alive. Those you study, now it's coming alive. It's getting traction. See? Took 30 years, now it's getting traction. Now it's coming alive right in front of your eyes. Because this is what I've been talking about all year, this scenario. See? Because the scenario I've been talking about is that they're going to have insurrection within. I use that word. They're going to have insurrection within. They're going to have wars without. They'll be torn apart on both sides. And look what's happening here. You got the demons. The demons are doing this. But see, we get the hit. See, we want to leave here. The demons don't want to leave, but they want to change the country profoundly. Not a little bit, profoundly. Get rid of the police, right? Give one of the police is one of them. One second here. Get rid of the police. Right? They want to change immigration laws. See, they want to. They want to just change America. Period. Complete change. Get rid of all the statues. Get rid of history. Now I can identify with some of that because they went through slavery like we did, but they the slave masters' children, so they still have attachment with slave master. They're the demons. They want to stay with master. They want to change, but they want to change. They want to be accepted by master. They want bigger pieces of pie. We want to get the hell out of here. We want no pie, nothing. We just get the hell out of here. That's the dichotomy there. Same thing as civil rights movement, right? Civil rights movement, we had commonality as far as, we was both oppressed socially. But once that battle was semi-won, there was a stark departure. They ran with daddy. They ran out the suburbs. Because before that, the doctors, lawyers, whatever, the demons, everything, they live right next door to you. Live right next door to you. Your neighbor, next apartment, next house over. They don't anymore. They're out there with daddy now in the suburbs. They didn't have suburbs back then. See, they're out there now. See, they departed. They left you and ran back. They want to be with daddy. They only come back when they want your votes and whatever. When they want something from you, rip you off. Same thing now. Commonality now is, you understand, the pressures that we're being exposed to, but we want to get out of here. The injustice and everything we're going through. We want departure. Read the demon-possessed man in Mark. It was two. The demon-possessed man, once he's rid of the demons, he wanted to get the hell out of here. But the demons, they wanted to stay. First thing came out of Farrakhan's mouth, Mr. Legion, Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards, first thing that came out of his mouth was, please don't make me leave the country. Please don't make me leave the country. They want to stay. That's why Farrakhan said, we're not going anywhere. He doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay here with Massa. He's going against the Abrahamic covenant. He's going against everything Elijah Muhammad taught, everything. Elijah Muhammad said, we'd be a fool to want to stay here. We have the tapes I've shown in previous, look up the videos, the case against Farrakhan. Guy Elijah Muhammad saying it. We'd be fools to want to stay here in the land by imprisonment. Farrakhan wants to stay. He's a demon. That's the problem. So they're trying to fundamentally change America from within. And America, these Americans, Europeans here, they're not going to allow that. Even the Democratic ones, they're going to say that's a step too far. You're going to change the name of Washington. You're going to change the name of Jefferson. It's not going to be Washington, D.C. anymore. It'll be maybe Martin Luther King, D.C. You're going to get rid of all the statues, right? You're going to change the name of everything. You're going to take and get rid of the police, because the police is here to enforce their reality. That's the purpose of the police, to enforce their reality, which is not our reality. It's the demon's reality, but it also, but the point is, it separates, right? It has a color complex, because demons want the same thing their daddies want, but daddies don't want to be bothered with them. They put them back out in the field just like they put other slaves. They was their own children. They put them out in the field too. They was house Negroes. Most of them was able to get in the house. But if they wasn't, they was out in the field too. And that was their daddy putting them out there. That's how cold these people, somebody so loving and so great, so good, they put their own children back out in the fields. That's how cold and wicked they are. How great they are, how good they are. See? So the point is, law enforcement has a color complex. It also, anything black. You know, demons, hey man, we with you, daddy. See, they're trying to break that barrier. And their dads, that's a step too far. Biden's already made statements like that. He said he didn't want to send his children when they was busing to no jungle schools. He's already on board with that. This person doesn't stand for anything. He's the biggest racist than Trump ever thought about being. And so is Kamala Harris. She's a racist too. She hates black people. But she said she's black to get those votes. That's how she tricked you. That's how she shows how much respect she has for you. Because keep saying she's black. She's not black. Just Google it. She may be dark, but she ain't black. But, right now, anything, a dog, if he's black, he's one of us, right? Anything black, because we mutts. And you buy into that. See, you're only pure, you're thoroughbred, a pedigree, if you're all 100% white. But anything else, you're a mutt. And we buy into it. Ooh. Anyway, that's what's going on here. So, you have two situations we're going to talk about in a little bit. First of all, this election was stolen, there's no doubt about it. But aside from that, he owes black people, especially this thing in Georgia, he owes black people his position being there. So they're going to make demands. They're going to want, and they're already making demands. You got to do this, you got to do that. At some point, he's not going to do it because he's a compromiser. See? When other white folks tell him, hey, man, we can't be, hey, man, Biden, he's going to go along with them. And if you keep making demands, they're going to have to get rid of you. Either you're going to have to, because they'll start saying, well, you're a terrorist organization. Because how you going to make demands? If they don't give them to you, you're going to start rioting and carrying on. They're going to, a terrorist, that's all they got to do is, well, you ain't regular black people. You terrorists. See, because they ain't going to give you what you think. See, all these Negroes out there voting for Biden, he going to give you what you think. He ain't going to transform America like that. They're not going to change America. That's why Trump failed. He was trying to change America. There's two situations. When you're under extreme pressure, right, you can either transform to adjust to the pressure, or you can get rid of the pressure that's causing you to transform. You have two choices. So Trump tried to transform America. He tried to do it from that point of view. He failed because they resist. When you try to transform something, it resists by definition. When you try to change, anytime you try to change anything, it's going to resist. Nothing wants to be changed. That's every action has an opposite equal reaction. That's what it means. For every action, there's resistance to the action, equal to the action. That's what it means. Another way of translating that. Every action has an opposite equal reaction. You reap what you sow. It's just another way of saying that. Every action has an opposite equal reaction. It means for every action, there's an equal resistance to it. That's why Trump failed. Because he wanted to transform America to deal with the pressures, in and out of pressure. So because the institutions, America resisted. Everybody resisted. He had the institution, everybody resisted. Everybody resisted. The industrial complex, the military complex. Look at him. You see right now, they see he's on his last leg. All his best friends are turning against him. They was against him all the time. He didn't see it. They was against him all the time. The Supreme Court went against him. He had valid claims. Everybody went against him. Everybody. The social media, everybody. He doesn't have a friend in the world. His children only hanging there because they want their inheritance. Everybody's against the man. Because they don't want change. They like things like they were, even though things like they were was not going to continue because America's under pressure. Trump knew that America's under pressure, knew he had to change to adjust that pressure. But they didn't want change. They want things to keep going like they're going. How's China get so strong? Because these people like Biden, they sold out America. They made China strong. China was a backing stage during Elijah Muhammad's time. They sold all your jobs, everything over there. Now China's a superpower. They made it like that. And they got rich off of it. Walmart. Okay, they got rich off of it. That's how it got started. That's where they get their goods from China. Slave labor over there. Think about it. So that's what's going on there. That's what's going on. See? So under extreme stress. And they got these two situations. See? And so they got the outward external pressure, and they got internal. And the thing is, America has to change to deal with that. They have to reconstruct. When you put a diamond under pressure, coal under pressure, right? It either two things will happen. Either reorganize to a stronger form, strong organization, which we call a diamond, because diamond is much harder than coal, or it's crushed to dust. So America had to reorganize. At least that's the way, that was Trump's approach. He didn't want no wars, external wars, right? See? And he wanted to increase the police department and everything to deal with the internal, and to try to change to change the dynamic of how America was dealing with black folks, right? They wanted to get rid of rid of abortion, wanted to get rid of the long prison sentences, all the things they were doing that was undoing what the Democrats was doing, what the media was, because the media all was in it with that. The Democratic policy was totally destructive to black people, and black people was running like lambs to the slaughter because they had the demons guiding them into that. He was undoing that. He was going to deal with the problem that way. But the whole everything, because all these institutions, they're on board with that. There's your destruction. America's from top to bottom is down with your destruction. And Trump, not that he loved you, but he was trying to do it by changing the nature of America within, right? To deal with those situations. You see, reorganize America, make America great. That's what's but reorganize America, and they resisted. Every action has an opposite reaction. So his reorganization, Tim, he was totally. You could tell how much how you can tell the nature of America by how virulently, right, vehemently, right, that they resisted his reorganization. They want him out of there. Oh, he's going to, the crime bill is going to fix so black folks ain't going to prison long sentence for almost nothing. He's going to stop sending their jobs overseas. You see, he's going to stop immigration, was taking black folks' jobs. And they say his man's a racist. Maybe he is, right? But his policies weren't racist. Anyway, so why was everybody resisting? Because they want our destruction. And they ain't going to come out and say it. That's why they're resisting him. So now he failed. So now come in second string. If the first string fails, they have to go to second string. Second string ain't good as first string. This man's borderline senile. Biden. He's not going to change any of that because those are his policies to begin with. He's going to reinstate all those policies because those are come from anyway. He's the racist. Look at his policies. He's the racist. I told you, the Democratic Party, they really set you up. They say, hey, man, we can't get them back on the plantation because of, the Civil War and everything. So we'll find another way to do it. We're going to pretend we like them. We're going to pat them on the back. See? So so the media, everybody loves him because he's not going to change that. The whole thing with design destroys. He's not going to change that. So they love him. He's not getting any flack. No. And then they got his so-called, they fooled you again because they bought his second vice president. Oh, she's black. She ain't black. She's more racist than him. She don't care about you either. She had a whole history of putting black folks in prison. That was the whole thing. And now they try to cover it up. So you have two options. Either reorganize to adjust to the pressure that you're exposed to, or get rid of the pressure. Get rid of the pressure. So what's Biden's situation? Depending on how Trump leads it, whether he leads it with war with Iran or not, that's part that's still not that's only part of the problem because he's still going to be under pressure for his other two things. So he had that to deal with too. But even if Trump doesn't do it, it's still going to happen. Why? Because he got the pressure outward and he got the pressure inward. He's not going to reorganize to adjust to the pressure. So his whole point is going to be, because if he tried to reorganize, he's going to have the same problem Trump did. So he's going to have to just kill the pressure, kill that what's causing the pressure. That's what's that which is that was exposing, the pressure. That's applying the pressure. And what is that? That's these demons from within. They want America changed fundamentally, profoundly. They tell me you got to have more black people in this, more black people doing this, and more black people in his cabinet, right? He's got to, get rid of his police force and so on and so on. You know how all the Black Lives Matter, all these different platforms, socialism, the whole 9 yards. America's not going to do that. They either bow down and change, reorganize to something they won't recognize, what the Black Lives Matter want, what the demons want, something they don't recognize, transform America into that, or get rid of these niggas. See, that's what it said. What was the purpose of this plague? This plague would have brought him to office. They tell you that. If it wasn't for this plague, he would never got in office because of the mail-in ballots and all that kind of stuff. That's what it said. The purpose is to do that. So what happens? So once he's in, he's got a choice. Because your race C is building up already. He's got to go along with them, or it's going to be a conflict. It's going to be civil unrest, insurrection. We already see, and we ain't talking about the insurrection on the other side. We ain't got there yet about Obama or Trump's people. So he's got to go along with them, transform America, or get rid of them. That's the choice you have to make. And they're not going to get rid of America. Because then he'd be in the same situation that Trump in, because he got to make change to America. They don't want change. But these demons want change. You understand? And he's the reason why he's in there anyway, these blacks. So he owes them. And they're going to make demands. You know, get rid of the police. They're not going to do that. But that's one of their demands. So he's going to have to say, okay, I'm going to go launch y'all, get rid of you, because that's the only choice he's going to have. So he's got two situations. He's got to go to war with the nations that's putting pressure on America, China. And that's why it says they're going to war with China. But first, the war's going to break out in the Middle East against Iran first. See? And then they're going to be then it's going to be war here. They're going to have to, then war's going to break out here. Insurrection with the blacks. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I keep saying this over and over. I said it many, many times. So we don't go more into it. But you need to understand that. That's a dilemma. It's not that much of a dilemma because they don't really care about no blacks. If it comes to that, that's an easy choice for them. You might think it's not. It is. See? In a few more months, black folks probably wish that Trump was back in there. I don't care either way. We went out of here. We don't care who's in charge of the plantation. We went the hell off the plantation. I'm just trying to understand the dynamics here, right? America's under pressure outwardly and inwardly. The only choice you have is either transform to deal with the pressure or get rid of the pressure. That means there'll be a war. That's what the Bible tells us. There's going to be a war externally and internally. That's why it says what? It says that the dragon, right, and the serpent made war with the woman. That's talking about the original nation and also the demons. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's move on. Okay, we're going to talk about a couple of things first, and then we're going to go a little more in depth about the subject I was talking about. I went a little further than I expected to, right? Because I had later on in the presentation, I want to go into that a little more in depth. But we're going to resolve a couple of things here. Now, what this says, as the lightning shines out of the east, even shines out of the, let's bring this up a little bit. Let's make it bigger. For as the lightning that lighteth out of one part under heaven shines unto the other part of heaven, so also the Son of Man be in his day. So, in other words, in plain speaking says, right, as the lightning shines as for lightning striking from one part of heaven to the other part of heaven, right? Now, in the scriptures, you have in the Gospels, right? I mean, the so-called New Testament, you have like Mark, Luke, Matthew's. They all say the same thing. So why does 3 books say the same thing? Because you have to cross-reference them. Because this one says this, but I think in Mark it says, as the lightning striketh from the east even to the west. But this tells you this, and this, when you put this together, because they're talking about the exact same thing. But when you look at the angel, you understand exactly what they mean. Because they're trying to tell you that's fraud. They said, well, as fraud came from the east even to the west, right? And they claim it's fraud. That's not nowhere, it's not possible. Because once this happened, that all these things, judgment, everything takes place. That was 80 years, 90 years ago. None of those things happened then. See? We'll see, we're gonna let's go on. Let's go to the next page here. So here it is right here. Now here's both statements. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes as far as the west, right? That's one view. Then on the bottom is the one we just said. As the lightning out of one part of hell under the heaven. When you read that one, that's talking about the same thing. Okay, let's look at the angel key. Now everybody, I've changed the key. It's been right in front of your face all the time, right? Where's heaven? Heaven and angel is up top here. It starts from top here where it says elect, and it goes all the way down here to where it says Levi. Those are heavens. How you know? Because right here, right, this is called mid-heaven. This is where the Shia are. That's called the mid-heaven. It's chapter 19. That's the mid-heaven. The birds that fly in the mid-heaven. Because all is considered birds. But these fly mid-heaven, means between heaven and the earth. And then the earth, The earth is only defined as 4 parts, right? And these are the 4 parts. That's mid-heaven. So as the lightning shine from the east, from one heaven, from lightning shine from one from out of one part of heaven to the other, that's talking about from here to here. And what does that mean? Let's look and see. Oh, well, no. Okay, I missed that one. Okay, what's happening is that what it's talking about is that when you see that Suleiman's here, would be here. See, and then I had this, so I don't know how it got messed up like that. Anyway, he goes from here, where it says Levi, up to here, one end of heaven to the other. Now, those of you studying, I'm not going to change it right now because those of you study Angel, you understand that. Because this something got changed here. Because he's here, then he goes here. So one end of heaven to the other. He's talking about Suleiman. I told you, son of man means Suleiman. Son of man. It's Latin. Su, son, or Latin, man, Latin. That's where it came from. See, if the messenger said what meant son of a man, well, that's his interpretation. But he didn't break the keys. He didn't break the seals. So he's guessing about the Bible like everyone else. You won't understand it until you broke the seals. He never claimed to have broken them. So we're not taking that from him. He used whatever he was told to use whatever he could to get the job done. He did. And in my book, he's 100%. I'm just saying. So we know, those who understand the angel know exactly what that means. See? So what it's talking about is that the resurrection. I had the sun down there. I don't know how it got back like that. So it goes up, and so I'm not going to change it here. Okay? So just understand that. It's not for Rye talking about. Then here it says, what's the other one? The Son of Man must suffer many things. Now, Farad didn't suffer anything. He ever say he suffered anything? Suffered many things and rejected. He wasn't rejected by anybody. He had over 60,000 followers here, I think more. I forget how many. When Elijah Muhammad met him, he left all those followers of Elijah Muhammad. They turned against Elijah Muhammad, but they didn't reject. He wasn't rejected. See, it says, Son of Man must suffer many things. That wasn't Farad. And be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, the scriptees, right? And the demons. That's what he's talking about here, right? The chief priests. That's Legion, Farrakhan. And be killed and be raised on the third day. Farad was killed. Where was he killed? When he say he was killed, he's going to be killed. He was killed. That's sure you don't know what the hell they're talking about. There's no way in the world that could be Farad Muhammad. It's not Farad Muhammad. It's talking about Suleiman. It's not being talking about, it says be killed, but some translators said put to death. That's a proper translation. It's not be killed, be put to death. Because once you understand the angel, you understand what they're talking about here. We're going to see in a minute. Now here we know death represents the Oriental countries. Hades represents the Asian countries, right? So when he's put to death, he's down here where he say Levi again. That's where he's at. Remember, say he rose from one part of heaven to another. That's what it means put to death. And if you watch this, I got day 1, day 2, day 3, 4. Let me back up here. Something got messed up. Anyway, see day 1, day 2, day 3. That's a proposition. So if you go up to get to day 12, I told you the angel key is also a calendar, right? So day 1 represents what you see here. Day 2 represents them. Day 3 represents the Shia. See? So what's happening here is that at this point in time, when he's put to death, and I had the sun down there, I don't know what happened, how this got, but he would be in here where his Levi are. That's the Nation of Islam. Some would be, that'd be Suleiman there, right? That's where he's put to death. See, he's there at that point in time, right? He's talking to the NOI. But they rejected him. They rejected him. So they say, if he put to death, they rejected, said, and he must be rejected by elders, chiefs, priests, and scribes. And see, he was rejected. See, that's happened already. A lot of things they talk about, like said, when the sun became dark as the moon, sun became black as the moon hole, and the sackcloth hair became blood. That's happened already. A lot of things, because you don't Angel, you don't understand, that doesn't happen already. But you think some big, spectacular astrological thing? No. Because you don't understand angels, a lot of things happen already. So he's there. See? But day 3 is down at the bottom. See? The war hasn't started yet. So he's there. And he was rejected. See? I went to the angel. I went to the Nation of Islam. I went there and talked to those people. They didn't want to hear it. See? Said we rejected. Okay? There you go. See? Went there, rejected. Okay? Then the war takes place. See? Now it says on the 3rd day, he's on the 3rd day now. He's on top of the 3rd day. Then he will rise. That's the resurrection. These are also called the clouds. The demons and Levi, they also call the clouds and elect. That's what that means. On the 3rd day he will rise. See? That's the resurrection. Because say it will come with the clouds. That's what that means, brothers and sisters. Though you study angel, will understand it. I give you a little more all the time. Say there's a lot of things I can't say because I'm telling them, but if you study, you'll get it. So I'm giving you all kinds of hints here. See? Okay. Now we'll get to our main topic again. I said a lot of it previously, so we'll talk about a little more about it now. The whole idea again is you have to understand pressure. When they talk about in the Quran, the wisdom. What do you mean by the wisdom? Say we're teaching the wisdom in the gospel, the angel, and the wisdom. What's the wisdom? The wisdom is the knowledge of pressure, because our whole reality is based on pressure. You can define everything in existence, everything that happens to us, everything in terms of pressure, because pressure is our reality. In fact, it's in the language. He's under stress. Don't pressure me. I'm under pressure, right? Don't push me. He's under stress. We can talk going on. Anyway, it's all over his language. See, don't force me. See, so the problem is, like I said, the pressure's increasing. The pressure's increasing. So what's happening? The pressure increasing on America, inwardly and outwardly. See, and it's coming from Farad via the Shia. It says that they would be the ones that would spread the plague wherever they wish. So they can say it's come from China. It originally came from there, but they can say, well, it's whatever. The angel, I'm going with the angel. I'm going with Exodus. It says that Farad sent this plague and said the purpose of it. See? Is to force him to leave, make us go. Now this plague is pressure. I tried to explain that before. This plague is pressure. It's a form of pressure. Right? It's growing. Anything that grows applies pressure in this environment. See? It's putting pressure upon. It's reorganizing your body. It goes in your body. That's what's killing you. It's reorganize your body. Right? That's pressure. Anytime you try to organize something, change it, you apply pressure to it. You apply force to it. Force, pressure, the same thing. See? So this virus is like pressure they've never seen before. And now this new version, it keeps mutating. So now this new one is probably even more pressure than the previous one. The one just hit America. Because it's growing faster. It's moving faster. It's pressure. I told you it would be in the form of pressure Because all things, when God attacks, right, he uses pressure, because pressure is the primary weapon, because that is the weapon. Even atomic bombs, that pressure. It's all pressure. It's just different forms of it. It's like 5 plus 3 equals 8, 2 plus 6 equals 8, 1 plus 7 is still 8. It's just different ways of looking at it. 9 minus 1 is still 8. So that's what's going on here. So America's under intense pressure. And this virus putting so much pressure on America. Look at lockdowns, and he's promised even more lockdowns, which hurt black people more than white folks. He's promised even more lockdowns. So America's under increasing pressure, right? And so it says this pressure, this plague, would force them to force us out of here altogether. See? Because what? Black folks, so we're gonna have war without. See? They're already blaming China for the virus. So you got war, and then you got all this the pressure of black folks inside. So you got a choice: either conform, go along with these black lives, right? Go along with their demands, or get rid of them. What do you think path they're going to take? Especially if they're war, because that was the whole thing. They said, let's deal wise with them, because if a war breaks out, they may fight along with our enemies against us. That was their first fear. It's right there in Exodus, right there in the scripture. So their solution was to abort us, or just throw us in the river. Throw us in the rivers mean get us out of here, ain't it? This is what you expected 2021. And it's going to move very quickly. The only thing we can concerned about right now is what's going to happen the next 14 days. Whether Trump is going to pull the trigger or not on Iran. But whether he does or not, it's still going to happen with Biden. It seems to me, based on what I understand, it's probably going to be happening with Trump. Because Israel knows under Trump, they got their best opportunity to take out Iran. They don't want to do it themselves. They want America to do it because they skeptical. They're afraid of Iran. So we'll see. But you see how 2020 came in with the plague, 2021 coming with insurrection. That tells you right there. I told you this was the year of insurrection. And like I said, it's going to get worse. The demon plague, which is a locust plague, that's going to be last for 5 months. It's going to be a whole lot worse. That story of Solomon. Story of Samson. See, that's going to be instrumental, in fact, just crippling America. Because it's going to happen during the time when America was being invaded. So they've had to fight. They're going to fight these demons, these black, and also deal with the invasion. And during that time, the NOI will be going through tribulation, fighting their way to the West Coast. Be fighting their way to the West Coast. They'll be left behind. The elect will be taken. They'll be over in the Middle East at that time. And they'll be preparing for war against the Sunnis. Because they're not going to give up that land. That land belongs to us. Now, Farad has taken it. He's broken authorities, so he possesses it now, but they're still going to be living there. The Arabs still going to be living there. And they're not going to give them the land. That's what it says. Joshua had to go to war with them. That's what you can expect to happen in 2021. And at the same time, during that period of time, the NOI, those that left behind, the demon-possessed men, the demons separated from them, they're going to be fighting their way to the West Coast. They're going to be delivered, but they got to fight, go through tribulation. While the demons being separated, now the demons and the NOI separated, right? And demons, they ran back to swine daddies. When you read Mark, when they ran back to swine daddies, they got to fight with each other and run off a cliff to their destruction. So they got to fight with each other. Read it. They don't say actually fighting, but you can read between lines. They got to, they ran off the cliff together to their destruction. So now the demons are tearing this country apart, fighting. You understand? See, their demands, and they try to deal with them. Biden's trying to deal with them, and then while at the same time they're being invaded on the West Coast by China and India. India behind them, with also non-Islamic Africa led by your best buddy Obama. And I'm getting to that about him. I already got a video. I talked about him a little bit. And that's the Red Sea, because those of the NOI that make it to there, right? That's at the point where Farad deals with them and has them part and let the Nation of Islam through, them through. But they got their invasion force there. They say, okay, let them pass. They open up, let them pass. See? They get boats or whatever they need to have, they let them pass. And once they pass, they close in on America's armies. That's the story Exodus, and that's what's going to happen. And it's a coincidence that China's called Red China, the Red Sea, because in Injil, they're also called the sea. It's right there, brothers and sisters. So they're going to part, the sea be parted, and they'll be able to walk through or go through. See, they allow them to go through, and then they close in and close in on America's military. See? And that's the flood. That's Noah's flood. Remember the sea? See, that's the sea. It wasn't a flood of water. It was a flood of humanity. That's why in India you see the sea and its rivers. Now it's covering the earth, right? Only thing was keeping from drowning the earth was the Shia. The Shia was in the middle between them, keeping the sea and the rivers from drowning. And now once that's taken out, see, because we over there now, the Shia is not going to come over here. We're over there. So now that's what that's all about. Shia is moving out the way. So now the flood comes and takes out America first and Britain right behind it. And then Europe follows afterwards. That's what you can expect to happen in 2021. Quickly, not slowly. You already see insurrection jump right off. See? And I didn't mention the insurrection of the whites, because you already see they're upset. See? When this ticks off, right? When this happens, we said there's going to be a famine, right? No food. So they're eating their own children. And eat you too if they catch you. Oh, they got books out there talking about, and they have books out there because they haven't seen them, right? Cartoons, but they put them out there, right? That in Christ says, black meat is good meat to eat. Y'all been sleeping. See, Google on the internet. I'm pretty sure you can find it, right? Magazines that they put out. I mean, on a regular basis. They eat their own children. See, and any foreigner, all these foreigners that's in the country, they say they're gonna kill them. People be totally paranoid, and especially when the invasion comes, it's gonna be really terrible. So now you got the demons fighting them. The Proud Boys against the Black Lives Matter. See? That's what you're going to have in 2021. Because, see, they said, remember, America's going to resist the change. And so, not just the American military and the, what they call it, National Guard, but all these so-called citizens, Trump lovers. But they're not going to be the only ones. It's going to be Biden lovers too, the Democrats. Then you're going to find their real face, these white folks' real face, their true face. They ain't like, they was against you all the time. But they were smiling and everything, patting you on the back while they was aborting your children. They're talking about how bad Hitler was. Because the Nazis, they killed 6 million Jews. But what about the Democratic Party? They've killed over 22 million black babies already in this Martin Singer's slaughterhouses. So how are you going to say that How you gonna compare them against Hitler? Well, the Nazi Party. They killed many more than the Nazi Party, and they're still doing it, and all the other things they're doing. But Nazi Party was good propaganda. Look how good their propaganda was. They had those people get on the trains, pack them in boxcars, cemetery of destruction, and without any protests. Same thing they're doing to you. That's how good they was doing. And those people was educated. The Jews were educated, the most educated people. Einstein, all of them, they came out from there. They were the most educated people on the planet. Yet their propaganda was so good, they had these people go to their destruction in boxcars without a slight sniffle, no protest. And they got these Negroes doing the same thing. They got you going to your destruction every day, destroying you every day, destroying your family, destroying your children, destroying your job, destroying everything. And you're not even a whimper out of here. In fact, you're going along with it. You already see it, history so-called repeats itself, right? They did to them and they do the same thing to you. And you, oh man, I love Democrats. Yeah. And you can't even talk with them. I said, okay, what you love them for? Because they're for abortion. Whose baby's being killed? Yours. Remember, democracy depends on population. Well, they're killing your population. Make sure you never get too much powerful. If those 22 million babies were alive right now, right, that means they'd be alive and have children. So you'd be at least about 100 million black folks in America right now. Think you're a powerhouse, you would be a powerhouse. Sending your jobs overseas, they got over a million of your children, your sons and daughters in prison. You ain't making babies in prison. It might as well be a part of the abortion scenario too, because you ain't making no babies in prison, especially in the 10, 20, 30 years. By the time you come out, you ain't making no babies anyway. And you don't get it. Then drugs, HIV. You don't see them talking HIV, but still raging in the black community. It's raging in the black community. Google it. And then if you have a job, I can't afford any babies, right? So you're taking birth control, or you taking, so that's stopping population, or you're aborting them. But then you get like, if you're a sister and you got a little sniffle, oh man, you need a hysterectomy, and you don't get it. I ain't saying the Republican Party ain't better, but these Democrats are open with it, and you love them. Here's some of the crap pulling out my behind. See, it's honey. You can smell it stinks. It looks like it stinks, right? It's got consistency of shit, but you still eat it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. They have no choice. The pressures on America are so great. This plague is getting worse. They're about to go bankrupt. They're gonna keep feeding you. It says it's gonna be a famine, and they're gonna have no food. When all this happens, right? That means the store's gonna be closed. They already talking about shutting down the country anyway, right? That's what Biden was shutting down the country. But when you have these riots and insurrection, stores be closed, you can't get food to the market and all that kind of stuff. You ain't have no job. So what you gonna do, brothers and sisters? They said they're gonna eat their own children. It says God's gonna make them eat their own children. They're gonna drink their own blood. That's where America's gonna be like this year. That's what's gonna be like in America's here. You say, oh, well, look how bad it was this last year. You never thought beginning of the year was gonna be anything like that. And some of you got the full impact of it. Some of you dead. See? And so this is gonna be much worse. And you already got the first signs of insurrection. So I hope you understand. It's mathematics. You're under pressure. There's two things you can do. You can transform to that pressure. So therefore, you adjust to the pressure. Pressure not bothering, or get rid of pressure. That's what happened with the Sunnis against the Christians. The Sunnis, that's why they raised up, Prophet Muhammad was raised up with the Quran, right? It was powerful enough, the pressure, the knowledge in it, right? Because that's what it is. Scripture is pressure. Scripture is software, right? Because words are pressure. Pressure sound waves, that's pressure waves. And it was more powerful than what the Christians had. So it locked them up in the dark age for 1,000 years. They couldn't withstand that. They had to transform. The pressure was too great, so it kept them locked up. So it took them 1,000 years. Like diamond takes billions of years before that happens. It took 1,000 years, and then they transformed. So-called Renaissance is right there in the history. They had a big transformation. They called the Renaissance. When they separated church and state and went with mathematics, went to the library. They transformed. Once they transformed, the pressure that caused them to transform didn't affect them anymore. That's why Sunnism, they play with Sunnism. Sunnism doesn't affect them anymore. It has no power for them. They're not going to reignite the old empire, the old 1,400 years ago. It's not going to happen. It's done its job. That's what talking about the Al-Quran, right? He locked them up for 1,000 years, right? Locked them up, but said that the war will be broken, and then God will be let loose. That's what's happening. Hold on 1 second, brothers and sisters. Do something right here right quick. Okay. So we're going to close this up, but so that's why the Quran is ineffective now. It's old news. It's for that period of time. The time has passed. The Injil, the only book right now that's powerful to destroy them is the Injil. It reveals everything. You know who demons were before this. You know about legion, you know any of those things. You know who the golden calf was. You're guessing. You know who the golden calf. You know who the jinn were. You know any of those things. Until the angel broke, you know what demons were. The angel broke it up, breaks it all down. Breaks it all down. So, hope you understand, brothers and sisters. And this is just a graphic on the situation, right? America is surrounded by all the nations. They're just putting the pressure on them. America's trying to pretend they're putting pressure on the nation. No. America's reacting to the pressure that the nation put upon America. America's in very much trouble. Very great trouble. They've created enemies all over the world. And when they go down, everyone will be against it. They will have no friends. They think they have friends. And even NATO, they're going to be fighting against themselves. I forgot to mention that. First is going to be this war. That's the first. That's going to trigger everything. Once the war happens, America's will be at war in Europe. While they were preoccupied with the war in Europe, right? They're going to be torn apart by the demons inside of America, making their demands. See? So while they preoccupied with those things, that's when they're going to get China and India's going to come in on the back door on the West Coast, invade. That's where it's going to go down, brothers and sisters. So let me say it again, right? First, it's going to be the war in the Middle East, which they're going to lose. They'll be kicked out of the Middle East. Shia's going to win. Farah's going to be with them. They're not going to tell you that they saw those planes and everything, Farah's plane. They're going to tell it over here. They can't tell people that. See? But they're going to get their ass kicked. False Israel's going down. Totally. They're going to be... this last place you want to be is false Israel when they go taken down. They said Shia going to lay siege to it and take it. And then they'll be given the hands of the Palestinians who've been over 70 years. They've been treating them, killing them, and all stuff they've been doing to them. And those people don't forget. See? That's what they're going to be up against. See? So that's going to end up false Israel. See? Then they're going to go into for what then the European economy, Western Europe economy is going to collapse. And I'm going into detail about it, going to collapse overnight. Then they're going to blame America. America's going to be at war with with Russia and Europe, all of Europe. It's going to be a war, right? And then from that, they're going to go in, and while they preoccupied with that, the demon's going to tear apart America here. Going to tear it apart internally. See, making their demands. See? So they're going to have to get rid of them. America's should get rid of these demons because they ain't going to consider demands. And they're also fighting over there with their own, used to be friends, the EU plus Russia. See? Then that's when China and India is going to come on the back door and attack them on the back door. At that time, we'll be out of here. Nation of Islam will be here. Those Levites, they'll be here. That'll go to tribulation, but the elect will be gone. That's what it says. Michael delivered, but there was two left behind: the demons and the saints. One everlasting life, one everlasting shame and palment. It's right there, brothers and sisters. That's what you can expect to happen. And when they come in, when China and India come in, right? When they come in, it says they're going to tear this country apart. They're going to take everything, anything that's usable with them, right? They're going to take all the able-bodied people that's healthy and able-bodied. They're going to take them out into perpetual slavery, never getting out of it. They don't have no hope. They're taking them to perpetual slavery. They'll take them into captivity, worse than what we were in, because everybody's going to hate these people because they've caused nothing but hate for the last 400, 500 years. It's been terrible. They're going to hate them. See, and then they're going to nuke the place. It says you will not be able to live here for thousands of years. The only thing being dwelt here is ours. That's the fate of America. We're going to be over in the Middle East. See, like I said, Nation of Islam will be fighting their way to being chased by Biden's armies. They're going to be fighting their way all the way to the West Coast. And then we'll be fighting the Sunni over there to take our land back. That's what you can expect to happen. See. So this is just a graphic of that. So let's move on to the next one.
Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to the birth, and not cause to bring forth? Saith the Lord, shall I cause to bring forth, and shut the womb? Saith thy God. Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her. That ye may suck, and be satisfied with the breasts of her consolations, that ye may milk out, and be delighted with the abundance of her glory.
If you read this carefully, it's two births given here. And it was one nation. It's talking about the elect that's taken out of here, that Farad delivers, and Nation of Islam, that's go to tribulation. See? They'll become one nation once they're brought back together and joined back together in the promised land. Okay? So read this carefully. One says one was before, right, the pain came. See, it says before she travailed, she brought forth for a pain came. So before the war and all that, before they got they try to take us out, they're gonna be delivered. That's time of the time of trouble, right? So that's that's the elect. See, so they will be taken. That's what it says before they won't be, that before all this happens, they be taken out. See, time of unprecedented trouble, they're gonna be delivered. But the other one, they have to go through the pain. Second group, right, says she brought forth her children. So the first was a man child. Second one, her brought forth her children. They had to go through the pain. That's a tribulation. Okay? So let's talk about there.
Shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered? But thus saith the Lord, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered. For I will contend with him that contendeth with thee, and I will save thy children. And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh, and they shall be drunken with their own blood, as with sweet wine. And all flesh shall know that I the Lord am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob.
Again, right, says shall the prey be taken from the mighty? We're the prey. See, that means that's what it's talking about. That's his purpose plague, to weaken them. It's to force us out of here. But at some point they're gonna connect with us. But the other side of it is that the Levites, a lot of our people, right, they cling into the society, right? Because dissatisfaction brings about change, but not dissatisfied. Got NFL, NBA, car, slow honey, all this kind of stuff. But this plague is breaking all that. It's breaking their grip. It says, Allah will lift you up, but you cling to the earth. See, you cling to America. So that's their grip is being broken. It says, shall the prey be taken from the mighty? See, that's part of what this plague is doing. And it's getting worse. And with the shutdowns that Biden is promising and the war and all this kind of stuff, see, it's going to break your grip. That's what it's talking about. And look what it says what happened to them. They're going, it's recompense, right? I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh. They eat their own children. And they shall be drunken with their own blood. And sweet wine, in other words, it's going to be so, it's going to be so bad that wine, their own blood's going to taste good to them, right? See? So that's what their future is, future of America. And what it says, all these things will happen in one day, talking about 1 year. This is the year. Read chapter 18, it says all these things, right? It says mourning, if you understand it, and I try to explain it, mourning means that's the part when Babylon falls, when they get into war in Europe. That's the mourning, right? And it says there's mourning and there will be a famine, right? The famine refers to the demons, the demon plague. See? It says you burn down with fire. That's the four winds. See, the first wind hits her, read it. It says the four trumpets. The four winds are the four trumpets. So the first one, what, hits the earth? And it was fire. See? And at that point, that's when the locusts are let loose, or the demons. Because it said, the fifth trumpet, which already fell. The fifth trumpet already, you have to understand, the fifth trumpet fell already. That's been happening. But he said he had a key. The key is the first of the four winds. Once he got that key, he was open the pit. And that's where demons come out. He said that would last for 5 months. So 5 months this year is going to be totally like you think that 5 months ahead. Remember, this little thing happened with George Floyd? That was a 5-month situation. Go check the time out. It was a 5-month situation. This is going to be 5 months also, but 10 times, 100 times worse than with that George Floyd thing. Okay? So that's what it says. So they're gonna be paid consequence of what they did to us. They can walk around talking, oh, we so good people, we greatest on the earth and all that kind of stuff. That's bullshit. See? So what they done, as you have done, so shall be done to you. In fact, in chapter 8, he said, give them double. See? And the one called and said, come out of her, my people. You gotta understand the angel. The angel's very, very, very clever, very, that's Farrakhan's talking about. Some of his demons. That's what he keeps saying. He keeps saying, come out of her, come out of her. That's what he'd be doing. See? But he don't mean come out of her, leave America. He might come out of her way, what she's doing, all so you don't be, suffer judgments. See? So that's another story. I probably shouldn't even mention that because that probably just complicated the whole situation. Okay, this is just the black represents us, the red represents America, the white represents all other nations. America's pregnant with us. See? It says, woe to those who are pregnant. You understand angel, that's what it means. America's pregnant and Britain is pregnant. If you understand angel, how it works. They're the ones pregnant, so it's wrath will be upon them. They're pregnant with us. See? But you have to understand angel to understand that. If you understand angel, if you haven't broken seals, you understand seals, don't listen to anybody telling the Bible because they have no idea what you're talking about. You got the sealed version and unsealed version. We give you the unsealed version. The sealed version is the devil mind. That's the wicked mind. If you got that mind, you're enemy to yourself because that's the mind that they have. So if you got it, you're enemy to yourself because you got the same mind your enemy has. That means you're enemy to yourself. And I say the same thing, same thing, right? You got the womb, you got the woman, that's the outer pressure, right? You got the womb, and the baby's inside the womb, right? So the baby is the inner pressure and the woman's outer pressure in the womb. Same concept, brothers and sisters. See? And the baby is making demands on the womb. See? And the woman's putting pressure on the woman. The woman's putting pressure on the womb. But when that baby keeps growing, after a while, it can take, and the pressure be something great that it can start affecting the woman because it is affecting her physiology. But when it comes detrimental to the physiology, then it's pushed out. Same thing, when we push, that's why it's talking about the woman, talking about as being pregnant. It says so before she was veiled, she was delivered. Because the same process. See? So the baby's pushed out once it becomes detrimental to the health of the woman. See? The womb is it's in the womb, which is in between, right? The woman and the baby. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. And the same thing here. The lightning and everything, that's America's experience from the world. See? And we're in center. America has two choices. Either transform under all that pressure, go along the demands of these Black Lives Matter, the demands of demons, and transform America, change the names of all the monuments, change the name, don't call it Washington, D.C. no more, maybe call it Martin Luther King, D.C., right? It won't be the Washington Monument anymore. It'd be like who else? Cleaver Monument, whatever. See? And all other stuff. Get rid of all the police. America's going to transform like that. See? They're going to transform and go along with that, and go along with other nations. Nations go along with China, go along with Russia, go along with Iran, let Iran get nuclear weapons, all that kind of stuff. So you're going to transform and let it happen, or it can get rid of the pressure that's on them. I'm not going to transform. I'm just going to get rid of the pressure that's caused me to transform. So I get rid of these niggas and I take war with these countries. I get rid of these niggas. I ain't no pressure in society anymore. I got rid of that pressure. Got rid of all these niggas. I had that pressure, internal pressure anymore. And if I can go out and knock these countries, China and Russia, right? Then hey, we're free now. We don't have any pressure anymore. We command the world. Think about it, brothers and sisters. This is not an analogy. This is the way it works. I'm trying to give you the mathematics of pressure. It's all about pressure. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a lengthy presentation. Hope you understand. Welcome to 2021. Those of you who are the elect, get your names in the Lamb's Book of Life. You have nothing to worry about. You're not here to faintest sound of raging and warnings of hell, as it says in the Quran. See? But all the other ones, these scriptees, they're lost. Time makers, they're lost. They don't tribulation won't do them good because they ain't gonna make it through that. See? But those who can't, those in the Nation of Islam, that's trying to hold on to the messenger, right? The Levites, right? They're gonna be cleaned up. Read it in Malachi. It says, the Lord who you seek, the messenger of the covenant. Who's teaching you about the covenant? No one's teaching about the covenant. No one's talking about these things because they have no idea. So they wait till it happens and they come. Then all you know about all Ishmael say, we at war, yeah, whatever. See, it says the messenger of the covenant. Who's talking about the covenant? No one's talking about it but me. No one. See? So you're gonna suddenly come and clean up. That doesn't happen because when the four winds blow during that period of time, that's when after I return to NOI, then you'll listen. You're gonna listen then. See. Because I'm cleaned up, getting demons out of there. See? It's going to happen. See? So be cleaned up, set straight, prepare you for it. That's what's read, Mark. Jesus cleaned out the demons, straightened out the demon-possessed man, gave him his mind back. Read it. He gave him his mind back. He cured him of the demons, got the demons away from him, gave him his mind back, but he wouldn't let him go with him. So you got to go back and witness. You got to go through tribulation. It's right there, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. Hope I didn't miss anything. Oh, I want to say one more thing here. We talked about this Sunni thing, Farrakhan earlier. Anybody don't see that guy, ooh, think about it. The Sunnis, they say Farad is a fraud. They say Elijah Muhammad is a liar. So you gonna go over to their mosque and pray with them, to their mystery God, because you're not gonna go in and tell them that you're praying for Farad. You ain't gonna do that. You're not going in that mosque and tell them you're praying for Farad because you won't be in there. And if they ask you if Elijah Muhammad is a messenger, you're gonna say no, because they throw your ass out. Those in there are all sellouts. And you're not gonna say Farad is God because they throw your ass out. You're not gonna say that. They ask you, you're not gonna say that. That shows you a liar right there. That shows you a liar right there. See? So why would Farrakhan have you go and pray with people who would spit on Farad and Elijah if they could? Because they don't associate with you. And if you go over to the Middle East with them and declare that Farad is a God, is Allah in person, or Elijah Muhammad is a man, you will not come back. They will behead you. They will behead you, right? You will not come back. Only reason they haven't done it here, they might even do it here, right? And nobody will talk and just get rid of your ass. Oh yeah, because you're in America. But they won't allow you back in there with that. Okay? So when you pray, who are you praying to? You ain't praying to Farad, because they praying to their mystery God. And that's who the one who leads the prayer is praying to. And you're right there going along with that. So that shows you right there, you are not with Elijah Muhammad. You're a damn liar. Farrakhan's a damn liar. That's what he's guiding you to. He's guiding you to. That is an easy call. Just like 1619, 2019 was an easy call. 2020 will be the plague. 40 years, 2020 will be the plague that kill the firstborn. Right? That means the elderly. That's what it's doing. And Passover rest, which it is. Black Africa is virtually untouched by the virus. They ain't doing any social distancing, masking, none of that stuff. So why would you take, and if you're not with the Sunnis, then why are you, if you're not believing the mystery God, then why are you going to pray with them? Like Muhammad didn't pray with them. He wouldn't allow them in his temple. That tells you everything you know right there. Farrakhan's a liar. He says one more thing you got to do. That one more thing is to leave you stranded. I have your Scientology and everything else confused, worshiping a mystery God, claiming that you believe in Farad, which you don't. See? And if you do, you don't believe him as the God. He's some kind of special character or something. So you're a liar. So don't come get in my face with your bullshit. Because why are you over there praying with these people? They stole your land. You don't know who they are. They're your enemy. They stole your land. They stole your religion. So they force you out of there. And they're here to make sure you don't get back. See, because as soon as you're nothing, they don't want you to believe Abraham would come and get rid of that stuff. See, when Wiles was with them, they used to come in and order they used to come and order all his little mosques. You go in the mosque, there'd be some little, some Sunni, Saudi Arabia people in the back, ordering everything was said. See, they want you to drop the Abrahamic covenants. So-called Jews want you to drop it too. Everybody wants you to drop it. See, because that's the whole world is indicted by it. Because the whole world is our enemy. The whole entire world's enemy. And our worst enemy in front of us right now, the one you need to focus on right now, not all this other BS, the enemy, you need to focus on the ones right in front of you. Because if you don't get rid of that one, you don't get rid of the other ones. And that's the demons. Farrakhan's the chief demon. That's the one you need to focus on. Forget all this other stuff. Because they with plague, when you say plague, that means they're all over us. They control us. All these politicians, all these people on TV, who you think? They're master's children. Those only ones got to live in the master's house was master's children. See, they look like us, walk with us, talk. They ain't us. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Last message, this last trick will be as woman. See, at that time, I was F4 at that time. Right, I mean, for right now. Why ain't one of these wannabe otherwise? But he said the last trick would be a woman. So they thought at the time they'd be chemically induced. They said they come into the temple just like the sisters, so they thought they'd be chemically induced. Because Messiah never talk about demons. This time it's demons. These demon females. They come and wreak havoc with your life, your family, your children. They have children by you. Next thing you know, they threaten you, trying to drag you back to church, or you're gonna lose your children, all that kind of stuff. See, that's what's going on, brothers. The demons right in front of us. But all these things are coming right now. Actually, you're gonna be, this year, you're gonna come to face to face with all your enemies. You're gonna find out that only enemy, only friend you got is Suleiman and those with him. That's the only friend you're gonna find that you got. Because you everybody else, you're gonna find everybody's gonna turn on you. They're after you right now, you just don't know it. But once your eyes open up, you're gonna find out. If you watch that, what's that crazy movie, Dust to Dawn? All of a sudden looked around, everybody was demons or monsters or whatever. That's what you were faced with, brothers and sisters. You're gonna see. This is year of resurrection. We're going home, brothers and sisters. But it's gonna be a terrible year. Time of unprecedented trouble. This is the year. First the plague, read it. What was the purpose of the plague? To force them out, to force us out altogether. Force us out of here. Not some sick, stupid states Farrakhan's talking about. And Farrakhan, he's over it. His time is up. He's going to suffer a total universal humiliation, him and all the demons with him. So don't worry about them. Okay, brothers, hope you understand. Assalamu alaikum.